The following podcast contains adult language and themes, so don't say we didn't fucking warn you.
You're listening to SarahTalk. It's political.
Senator Harris?
She reminds me so much of, like, if Maria from Sesame Street went into politics and got angry about shit.
Who's that the Wisconsin girl that nobody likes? What's her freaking something chur? Yobichur?
Oh my god, this is gold.
Girl.
Keep going. Keep going.
Critical.
They care about the life of the unborn child, but once it's born, you know, it should pull up its little bootstraps and go get a second job and fucking take care of itself, you know?
And positively LGBT positive.
Look, whenever there's someone coming after my community, they are either wearing a MAGA hat, carrying a Bible, or more often both.
Oh, and occasionally completely absurd.
Oh, they're shutting us down. They're deplatforming us. I do a pretty good Alex Jones voice. They're turning the frogs gay.
Okay, you're sleeping in the child's room tonight because there's no way you're sleeping next to me. That is disgusting. I'm going to have nightmares.
And now, from Haines City, Florida, your host, Sarah Austin.
You know, it's been a long time since we've done this.
Yeah.
And I think I forgot how to do all of it. Gosh. Well, whatever. Hey, everybody. Welcome to SarahTalk, I think. I don't know what this is. I don't know what we're doing anymore.
Well, you know.
What's going on with you? What's new?
What's new? I got the kids set up ready for school starting Monday. From the playroom, which has been converted into a classroom.
Uh-huh.
That'll be interesting.
I got bad news bears. The wrong audio is going out.
Oh my fucking god.
That makes sense as to why it sounded like the microphones were still hot when we were going live.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see if I fixed it. I don't know.
You're out of control.
Hey, I fixed it. Okay, everybody. Welcome to SarahTalk.
Fucking god.
Seriously, it's been a long time, y'all.
This week has beaten
Aaron is
me
watching.
up.
Hey, Aaron. How are you?
Aaron. Hey, Aaron. Oh, hi, Aaron. We miss you. No, this week has beaten me up.
Yeah, it has been quite.
Last
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's like been a 2-week shit show. Beat the fuck out of us, palooza or some nonsense. And
Yeah.
I'm just ready for some sense of normalcy. Hopefully,
Son of a bitch.
having the kids on a schedule will help.
Right.
I'm not gonna hold my breath though because they're pains in the asses, and I don't see how they're gonna sit in front of computers for 7 hours a day. It just even with everybody's like, oh, but they'll get breaks. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
The 11-year-old, oh god, the 10-year-old, the 10-year-old eats at 11. The 1-year-old eats at 12:30. You don't think she's gonna fucking throw a fit when he's out there eating
Without her.
chicken
Yeah.
nuggets and she's like got to do art block? Yeah, fucking right.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and it's so hard because the United States Department of Education is garbage. The Florida DOE is garbage, and so is our governor. And the county is kind of okay. They would probably be doing more of the right things if not from like decree from on high.
Right.
And then our school, we absolutely love.
Oh, the school's
the school's
amazing.
great.
School's amazing.
And they're just trying to get by with this stupid conditions that we've put them in.
Yeah. The teachers are amazing. I mean, you know, I think I'm there all the time, so I know all these people, and it's just like they're a text away. Literally, I have 7 or 8 Facebook messengers open with all of my teacher friends from the school. On the daily, we're talking about, you know, and there's been changes like minute by minute. Like for a couple of days, there were like every 5 minutes you check the site and something new is popping up or changing or whatnot. And so we got through last week getting everybody their devices, getting everybody their packets, getting everybody through orientation, and now it's just like, okay, now we just got to get to Monday, but the programs that were still not in the computer system now I guess this afternoon there was another, nobody could get into it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And it's not the school. It's the district trying to accommodate, uh, what is it, like 40 something thousand students are going to be on e-school, but also they're trying to streamline the program that the e-school students are going to be using and using it in the campus school, so that inevitably when the school's shut down and all those kids are shifted to e-school, they already are familiar with those programs because they've been using them at school, which makes complete sense. So at least somebody somewhere had a viable thought on how to make this work.
Yeah.
God. But it's one of those things we're all like holding our breath now. Like, is it going to work on Monday morning? And I've just
Who
come to
knows that it's not.
I'm like, I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll start freaking out about 8:20.
And even then, like,
it's not like it's anything I can control. Call
Mhm.
what? I'm going to call tech and sit on hold with tech on Monday morning. You know, it
Right.
sucks. I've already had to go through the emotions of the fact that my kindergartner is not getting the kindergarten experience that
Right.
she deserves.
Right.
I already have to deal with the guilt that she's already behind where her brother was at this point because she's been home and not in a daycare
Mhm.
or like in that, like, she just didn't have the same like routine learning socialization thing going because she's been with me.
Right.
And then pre-K got cut
Right.
early, so she didn't get that whole experience. So I've had that to kind of work through
Mm-hmm.
on top of all this other shit, and I'm just like, I'm done. Lost it and screamed and yelled at an old man at Checkers today.
Oh, tell this story. This is so good.
That's where I'm at, people. You don't cut me
Oh.
off at the Checkers when I'm just trying to get my freaking mozzarella sticks, okay? Oh
No,
my
come on, tell the
God.
story.
Okay. So I go grocery shopping on Fridays. That's my thing. And I've been so stressed out that I slept in today. And usually I get up and I go right at 9:00 and then I pick up Burger King for breakfast on the way home. That's just our Friday thing, right? Well, today I didn't even get out of bed until like 9:30. And then had to work a grocery list and just putzed around. I didn't get to the grocery store until noon. And so let me tell the cute story first about the grocery store.
Oh, yeah.
Because
yeah.
I was feeling really good about the world when I left the grocery store. I'm at the grocery store and it's Aldi. So there's like 2 lines and it's middle of like the day. So it's rush. This is why I go at 9:00 because you get in there right when it opens and you're in and out. You go past 10:00, fuck it. You're going to be there for an hour, no matter how fast you think you can shop. So I get in line. I'm standing there and there's 2 like lines and it's starting to back up. And this little old lady with a walker comes walking by and she's getting in line and she had like a thing of juice and a thing of grapes and like maybe 3 items on her little walker. And I'm like, are you checking? Are you ready? You can just go right in front of me. There was one person in front of me. It was a secondary line that they had just opened up. And so there's one person in front of me and I got behind her and they hadn't even opened that register yet. I'm like, just go, just get out of here. Like, and so she went in front of me and then, the lady in front of her that was in front of me, like insisted on paying for her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be nice to people and take care of them. And and when you're not nice and you try to cut in front of people in your big, stupid Trump truck. No. Okay. So I was feeling really good. I texted Sarah, I'm done at Aldi. What's the lunch plan? She goes, you want to go through Checkers? Okay, fine. I'll go through Checkers. So I get to Checkers, and Checkers is, they didn't have the second drive-thru open. This one never does. And it's just like a really wide drive-thru. And for the first half, until you get right up to the place where you order, it's really wide. You can put 2 cars in there. And then it just kind of bottlenecks. Anyway, so I pull into Checkers and there's like 6 cars in line. It's like wrapped around the building. So I had to kind of like do a big, huge donut in the empty parking lot to get into the line. And then 2 more cars got behind me. And at this point, I'm in the line and I'm at the curve and some still where there's a whole bunch of parking lot area that's just open. And it on that side is where the entrance in from the other side of the parking lot is. And so that's normally you just turn in and make a U-turn and get into the line. And this truck pulls in, and I see the truck pull in the parking lot, and he goes around back the line and gets in the line in behind the 2 cars that were behind me, and he's in line for a couple of minutes. And then he, for some reason, decides he didn't want to wait in line. And he pulls around and he pulls in that big open space and tries to go in front of the SUV that's in front of me, in between that, like the SUV and the car in front of him. And the SUV wasn't having it. And so there was all this other open space to the left side because the other drive-thru wasn't open. And so he like got to this point where he was in front of her, like she could not move. And so she just like backed a little bit and then went to the left and around and got like in front of him. And I knew, like I was like, all right, fine. So I stayed right on her tail so that he couldn't get past me either. So then he decided he was gonna just try to wedge me out. So then he kept like right next to me, and he was like kind of in front of me, and I was like getting so mad because I was like, this is wrong. You know damn well that this is a line. You were in it. And now you think you're going to fucking come up here and wedge me? No fucking way. So I'm just like, is this really happening? So he was almost to the point where he was the next one to go up to the thing. And I'm like, no, this isn't happening. And so as he rolls his window down, I rolled my window down on the passenger side, and I started screaming at him, basically, what makes you think you're so important that you can just cut 4 people in line? And he like stopped to scream back at me. And so as he's screaming back at me, I'm just moving right along. You think you're gonna wedge me out? It's not gonna happen. I'm in a fucking Jeep. I'll go up on the curb. I don't care. I'm getting my freaking mozzarella sticks. So he's screaming at me. I'm screaming at him. I'm inching. And the guy behind me was inching right up on my tail too. Like he wasn't gonna let him in either. And so like there was lots of F words exchanged. At one point he told me, just shut the fuck up. And I said, I wouldn't have to shut up if you wouldn't be a dick. Or I wouldn't have to even talk if you wouldn't be a dick. And then he told me to just come back to where I came from. To which I replied, what? I'm a native Floridian. My mom's a native Floridian. Her mom was born in Boston.
You don't even look
like I don't know where that came from, because I'm like, I'm speaking to you. I don't have an accent. I don't know what that was. But this guy, I felt so bad for his wife, who was in the passenger seat. She looked horrified.
Think about every guest interaction that you've ever had to handle at Disney.
This was like retribution for all of them, because I actually got to tell him to fuck off.
No, but when we were at Disney, all of the guest interactions that we had, right? All of those like negative situations that we had to deal with, there was always a wife standing off to the side with that look on her face like, I'm so sorry. He's just like this. He's an asshole. I'm so...
But I was just like, I am not having this. No, you are being a dick. And I don't care. You know what? Maybe some people might have thought, oh, Becca, this is stupid. Why would you do that? But you know what? I don't care. This guy was very obviously, and then he tried to tell me he says, well, how am I supposed to know? There's no sign that says where the line is. Fucker, you got in the line. You got in the line. Don't tell me you don't know where the line is. You're like 90 years old. You don't know how a drive-thru works? What? So I'm just like, no. So, all right. So I screamed at him. I edged him out. He got stuck there. He got stuck, and the only way he could get out was if he backed out. But by this point, there were people that were coming in on the other side. trying to get in the line. So he couldn't even back out. He had to wait for somebody to finally let him in, which happened before I was out of the line. He actually was at the speaker box while I was at the window, so I could hear him. But before I even did that, I get to the speaker box, and I was so flustered, and my adrenaline was going, and I was having an asthma attack, and I didn't have my inhaler, and I was like, I'm gonna die in the fucking Checkers parking lot with a buttload of groceries and frozen foods in the back of the Jeep. I don't even know how this day is gonna end, right? So they, can I take your order? I'm gonna need a minute. And this lady says, "Oh, honey, you take all the time you need." And I didn't really put two and two together that she totally must have heard or seen, or they were all watching, right? Until I got to the window, I didn't realize that was what has happening. So I ordered my stuff. I get up, I go to the pull up, and the truck behind me, like as I'm inching past this guy. The truck behind me, I can hear that guy going, woohoo, whatever, cheering me on, which was hilarious. He gets up to the speaker box, he orders his food, and then he gets out of his truck and walks up to my Jeep. I don't want to get too close because of the Rona, but you go, girl. big black guy. Like I was like, oh, yay. And so then I get to the window and our Checkers, and we go there a lot, and I drive a purple Jeep, so they know me. They see me all the time. This girl comes to the window. She's like, "Girl, good for you, honey." And then she starts laughing about old white men think that they just do whatever they want, and good for you. And then I hear him on the speaker box, and he's trying to order ranch French fries. And the guy was like giving him a hard time. I'm sorry. What? Ranch French fries? We don't have ranch fries. I want seasoning fries. What? Like just back and forth. And I don't know what the guy was trying to order. I don't know if that was a thing they have. I don't know if the guy was just giving him a hard time. Finally, the guy says, "Well, I can give you seasoned fries." He kept saying seasoning fries. "I can give you seasoned fries and a side of ranch. Is that what you want? The ranch is going to be extra." It was so great. But don't cut in front of me in fucking drive-thrus. Ever.
Yep.
Just saying.
Becca's a bit of a bitch. I don't know if y'all know this or not.
Listen, after the fact, I thought, man, wouldn't it have been the greatest fuck you to be like, "Oh, is the ranch fries for the old fat, for like, what's his name? I was going to say old fat Trump guy." That's what it's called him. The old fat Trump guy. Is that for I'll pay for him, and you can tell him that the bitch in the purple Jeep bought them for him. Like, I should have done that.
You
should have done it. It would have been great.
Yep.
And tell his
he would
wife,
have felt like a dick.
and tell his wife that I'm sorry she has to deal with this shit. Whew.
You good?
Not really.
You need some rum in your drink.
Not really.
Yeah, you do.
I got a headache after telling that story.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm like hot again. Because I'm like, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot."
Yeah.
Like I was like on this like nice high from the grocery store, and all the nice people in the grocery store just taking care of the old people.
Mm-hmm.
And then the old Trump guy. And I don't know that he was a Trump guy. I'm assuming. I didn't really see any Trump stickers because I didn't get behind his truck because I refused to.
But he had that.
But he was totally
vibe.
like in this. Yeah, if he was not a Trump guy, I would be really shocked. But oh my God, I to go from like seeing the best in humanity to seeing the worst in humanity in like 5 minutes.
Let me grab that segue, and as we talk more about the worst in humanity, let's talk about the election results. So, our 2 school board candidates that we were rooting for, and one that we had on the show, both lost. So, really kind of pissed off about that.
I'm telling you, we got beat up this week.
Yep. And, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into this story, but I was sitting in a city commission meeting in Lake Wales, like, dealing with how I'm just the demon from Satan's lair coming into their city. So during that commission meeting, I'm looking at my phone, watching the election results come in, going, shit. This is not good. This is really not good.
Listen, you guys, school's starting on Monday, and if this is not a good week, you're probably not going to hear from me for a very long time because I'm going to take my social media accounts and burn them all. And I don't know how yet because I don't know how to do that because it's on my phone and I can't burn my phone because, I might need to call somebody. But, oh my God, I'm done. I'm done with social media. I'm done. People are just nasty all over, all the time. You try to ask a question and you're whining and you're complaining and you should just be happy for what you have. No, I don't have anything. I'm trying to ask a question. I'm literally trying to figure out how to take advantage of this.
Right.
And you're telling me I'm whining because I asked a question.
Right.
I had some guy tell me I should just let my neighbors take care of my kids while I drive for an hour to go pick up food at the school.
No.
Oh, yeah. Just leave your kids with your neighbors and stop whining. Like, you know what? Fuck you. Why do people just assume that they can just go on social media and be assholes?
Yeah.
Or go to Checkers and be assholes. Like, I don't understand why there's so many assholes in the
social media. I understand because there is a level of anonymity to that.
It's eating me alive. Like I am literally at that point where I
mean, I took 2 days off work this week for mental health reasons. Like,
I don't, and that's my thing. Like, I can't, that's where I get all of my information. That's where I'm connected to my school. Yeah. That's where I'm connected. Like, I don't know I can't disconnect that.
Right.
And stay connected to all the things I need to be connected to. And I know plenty of people who've done it. I can't. It's too intertwined into all of the things that I do.
Joseph said their elections went pretty well in Orange County. Well, lucky for you, buddy.
Rub it in.
I would go into battle. I would go into any battle with Joseph. Thank you for being here for me.
Joseph is a wonderful friend, support, and ally.
Yes.
I will say,
still a jerk for bragging like that, but I love you.
I will say that Polk County, you're a disappointing fuck. 22% showed up to vote in the primary. 22% of the registered voters in Polk County.
Which is not...
it's an improvement, apparently,
Yeah.
because in 2016 primary, it was 16%. And I'm just at a loss because so many people are so quick to jump on the social media and complain about all the things that are going on, yet they don't show up in one of the more important ways that you should be showing up to fight those problems that you're so adamantly complaining about. I don't understand that. I can't comprehend it.
I think I'm still close enough to where I used to be to get it. Like, I did not get involved in politics. I didn't get interested in politics until my mid to late 30s. Like, I just didn't. The last 5 to 7 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't until I could see how it affected my family, how it affected my children. And absolutely, I understand that there's plenty of people that just don't. I mean, I have close friends that don't vote because they were not raised to vote. But even though they know that it's not, and I'm like, what in the world? Come on, seriously. Well, it doesn't affect me. I'm like, yeah, actually, it does. But I can't. I get that there's people that are there, but also, how are only 22% of Polk County voters invested in our community?
Well, let's take a look at the data and see if we can maybe extrapolate hold on. What?
I'm sorry. I just told you that I just had like a horrible day and a bad 2 weeks, and you want me to math?
No, I want you to listen.
Oh, okay.
So, this is the state of Florida total data. In 2018, 27% voted in the primary. 63% voted in the general election. Okay? 27, 63. In 1954, 53% of registered voters turned up to the polls in the primary.
What was going on in 1954? What election was that?
56, 66%. 1958, 54. 1960, 59%.
Those are all the boomers that created this crapshoot
43
county that we live in.
58, 51, 44, 41. 1972, we drop down into the 30s. I bet you if we go looking, there is some change in social or policy, something in those years that's caused this drop in voter turnout.
I'm wondering if it's not just a generation thing.
It very well it's probably a number of things that all sort of fit together. Like, so you've got a generational thing. You know, like I've said many times, my parents didn't like encourage me to go vote, or that wasn't something that our family just did. That, you know, that they didn't inspire that in me. I'm Gen X, so we're the lazy pot smoking generation, right? But also like the social conditions of change, where in the 1950s, we weren't a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week society. Like, things weren't open nonstop.
Right.
When my parents were, you know, of young voting age. It was different. You didn't have to have 2 incomes to make ends meet. You didn't have to have 3 jobs to make ends meet. So was it just that people had more time and were able to be more connected in what was going on politically, locally? Now, when you look at the numbers for the general election, that's been pretty steady, you know, bouncing from 50 to 70 some percent. So I don't know. I think that would be an interesting study to see, like, what the conditions were that have changed, the causes of that change in voter turnout. I just think that'd be interesting.
Who wants to take a trip into Becca's dream world of how we fix this problem?
Let's go.
Okay.
How do you fix it?
Hear me out. First of all, I think election day, whether it's a general or a primary or whatever, even if it's just a local little rinky-dink whatever, that needs to be somehow a holiday, or people need to have the day off. Or if it's essential workers, since we talked so much about that lately, essential workers that have to work on that day should only have to work a half a shift.
I have another idea. How about this? What if election day is 2 days?
That works too. I've also got another idea.
Half of us work on day A and half of us work on day B, or however, you know, like, there's ways to make it work.
I've also got a great idea, and my brother, the foodie, will love this.
Okay.
Free
sandwich.
I go into my poll, my vote, my wherever to do my, oh my God, what's it called? Polling location. I go to my polling location. I turn in my ballot. I get my sticker. I put my sticker on my shirt. I walk into 7-Eleven. Oh, you voted today? You get a free Slurpee.
I'd wear that fucking sticker all week long.
Go to Dunkin' Donuts. No, it's only good for the day of the election.
Okay.
What
if I vote early?
Will you shut up and let me finish a goddamn sentence?
No.
You can wear your vote early sticker. You have to save it.
Fine.
You go into Dunkin' Donuts, you get a free coffee or a free donut. McDonald's, free fries. You go all over town, get all these free little things because you voted. You get every single business to buy in. It's not going to cost them that much. They're just giving out free drinks and a snack here and there. But I bet you there's a large population of people that I know would just drive around all day and pick up all the stuff. because we all like free stuff, because
Sure.
we all work our asses off for crap money that doesn't pay for things. So every now and then you want a little pick me up. And if it gets me a free Slurpee because I voted, or a free, whatever your thing is, it can be,
I still think the I think the major condition that has changed that we would have to undo, and I don't know how you do this. Again, how many times have we talked about, like, I would be so much more involved in local government if I could be,
Right.
but I can't.
Right. Well, like these commission meetings that you went to are on Tuesday night, and oh my God, this city is so ass backwards. 5 minutes per person, no limit for public comments. These meetings are running 3 and 4 hours long when it's a packed room.
Yep.
That first night when she went and did the invocation because some jackass tipped off the local news blog lady. So all the churches were there and they had all their people out to, make public comments. They were there until freaking 9:30 at night.
Yep.
Just because public comments were 5 minutes per person.
Yep.
No limit.
And
like,
you can literally, like, there's no limit to what you can say either.
Yeah,
like, it should be you should be bringing an issue to the commissioners of something that they can, it's something you need assistance with and the whatever. But like, these people literally got up there and were just reading from the Bible for 5 minutes.
And I got to tell you, the first time we went in Polk County, at the county commission, when Joseph did the first invocation,
Right.
and the guy got up there and was talking about the water in the dog park issue, I sat there and I judged him some kind of way. And I was like, this guy, really? This is seriously? But you know what? Let me tell you something. He had some valid points. These idiots with their Bible. Like, I felt so bad after watching the Lake Wales City Commission about what I thought about the guy with the dog park at the Polk. Like, I just...
Joseph brought up another good point. Not only do you get to speak during public comments, so there is a there is a time for public comments, and then like, okay, well now we're going to address this specific ordinance. So we'll take
open it up again.
We open the floor again. Like, oh my God.
I mean,
but I will also tell you this, and this is just based on information that I have from various sources about this particular commission, because I don't live in that city. I don't go to their commission meetings often. I don't even go to my own commission meetings often. And that's the whole, like, that's how we got down this road. So I don't have time. But apparently nobody goes to their city commission meetings. When they switched during COVID to be doing this online hybrid thing where some of them are in chambers and some of them are home on the webinar platform, more people are tuning in. Then they took up, and I got a question about whether or not this was something that I was aware of, or that was part of the decision of what date I chose to go and do an invocation. But that night, they were also discussing a mask mandate. And so you have the libertarian crowd that came out to protest, don't muzzle me. You can't make me wear a mask. This is America, my freedoms, blah, 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 whatever. And so there was a higher attendance for that. So there were just a storm of things that all kind of came together that caused the attendance to be higher than normal at this particular meeting than it usually is.
I'm gonna tell you what.
But my point is, I would go to my own city commission meetings if it was convenient for me to do so. Yeah. And I just don't work the kind of job where it is.
We can't even make it to our HOA meetings. And we like, that's like half-hour tops at the library 2 blocks away, but it's just not convenient because we're all overdone.
Mm-hmm.
And like, how do you fix that?
Yeah, that is the question. How do you?
I think we need to put school all year long, 3 days a week, and then go to a 3-day work week or a 4-day work or school 4 days a week, all year long, with like a spring break, a fall break, and a 2-week summer break or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
definitely the work week.
The work week. I think I think that's the biggest reason we're struggling right now is because so many people are out of work, and now kids are going back to school. And but I can't keep my kid home, but I don't want to send them back. But I can't afford childcare because childcare is more expensive than any. Like I remember when I was working and we had our kids in daycare, my whole check covered childcare.
Yeah.
I was working to pay somebody else to take care of my kids.
Yep.
Like it did make sense, which is why I stopped doing that. But like that's the world. And I worked for Disney and Disney paid half of the childcare. So I can't even imagine these people that don't have a company helping them pay childcare.
Right.
I don't even know how people do it. I really don't.
Here's the thing that I think this is the big stumbling block that I don't think I don't know how we go backwards from this, because people love their convenience. I grew up in a world, I'm going to put on my blue hair for a minute. I grew up in a world where shit closed at like 6, 7 o'clock at night. And the grocery store wasn't open on Sunday. Like, if religion has given us one good thing, it's Sundays. Like, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the world was not open 24/7. If you wanted to rent a movie from the video store, you had to get there before they closed.
Yeah.
They weren't open all fucking night long.
I think the 24-hour Walmart really was that was when it started, because I remember the first time, like we had a Walmart that opened, but it was like closed at 10 o'clock or whatever. But I remember when Walmart changed their hours to open 24 hours. It was like, that's when, I mean, I remember that happening. It happened in my lifetime. But like, I do remember we would go to our weekly meetings at the Kingdom Hall, and the meeting was over at like 9:30, and my mom would have to rush us out the door because Publix closes at 10. And we got to get there so we can get our ice cream and our whatever treats. If we were really good, Mom went and took us and got ice cream and brownies from Publix or whatever, cannolis or something. But I remember that. Like, I remember like places closed.
Yeah.
It was.
And now they don't.
Even banks now. Like, I remember when the first, this bank is open on Saturdays, or this bank's open until 6 on Fridays. Or I'm like, but I remember, like, it's so weird because as it was happening, you didn't think anything of it. But now it's like,
now that we see the result of
I'm going to order a bottle of wine from Amazon and a drone is going to drop it off at my front door. That's the world we're living in now.
No, that's the world we need to be living in. Because if a drone can deliver some shit to me and I don't need a person.
But I think that's where we're like, I mean, that's where we're heading, at least. I know that the problem with that is that it's going to put a lot of these businesses out of business.
We're gonna have to rethink. We're gonna have to rethink the way we value people, and it's not based on productivity.
No,
it's based on humanity, and that's where we have to go.
But unfortunately, we have a large population that don't see it that way, and they don't think about it that way because they were raised to, you gotta be productive, man up,
capitalism,
take care of your family,
You got to be a hard worker. You got to be a hard worker.
And you know what? You know what is so funny is I grew up hearing just, you know how you hear things and they don't, I don't know how to explain this. As a child, you hear something and you don't necessarily see anything wrong with it. It's just a funny joke, haha. But then you grow up and you realize, holy crap, that was racist or whatever. Like, I remember hearing people joke about, that Jamaican brother over in whatever congregation, he's got 3 jobs. Yeah, because he has to.
Yeah.
Like, but it was just a joke. Like, it was funny to them that this poor guy had to go work 3 jobs to take care of his family. And I think about that stuff now and I just go, oh my God, this is so, like, even back then, it's so disgusting. Like, why should he have to work 3 jobs and never see his kids? And probably still has debt out the eyeballs because he just can't keep up.
Right.
I just I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I think there.
I'm sorry. Jesus Christ.
Those of you who are listening in the audio podcast version of this aren't going to get to see the beating.
Don't try me. I will run you over with my Jeep. Maybe if you weren't a dick, I wouldn't have to. Oh my God.
I think one of the things that's weighed on my mental health is it's so weird because getting more involved has exposed me to more of what's really going on in the world, but it's also like giving me a place to help make it better, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
And so I want to do more, but I can't do more because
Right.
of this capitalism roadblock in my way and
Mhm.
all of that stuff. Like, I think with the work we do with It Takes a Village, there is no reason anyone should be like wondering where they're going to get food today. There is no we throw away so much fucking
Mhm.
food in this country. There is no reason for that.
Yep.
No reason.
Yep.
So what do? Well, the best we can do is just try to feed the people we can.
Mhm.
Help out in any way we can. We could be doing more. We should be doing more. And that's all volunteer work. You can't just do that for a living. We're gonna pay you to just help people for a living? No, come on. No, you could be a social worker and just help refer people to other places to get.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. It's really frustrating to me that we're here. We see it. It's worse because of COVID, and we can't do
nothing to do about it.
Yeah.
I think, like if anything, this is very much amplified the fact that you can have all of the resources in the world, all the programs in the world, but if you can't access them,
Yeah.
they're useless. And there's so many people that cannot access those programs. The guy telling me to leave my kids with the neighbor, that whole conversation was on Polk School's Facebook post about how the FDA sponsored the free lunches and breakfast program for kids in Polk County schools this year. They did it last year and the year before. But basically, it's every kid can eat breakfast for free and lunch for free.
And they do it because the food insecurity level in this county is disgusting.
Yeah. So their whole thing is, we're going to give you all this money to feed all the kids that go to your schools, and then you don't have to apply. Like they're in other counties where the poverty level isn't where ours is, you'd have to apply for that program. But this just makes it so they don't have to apply. Every kid,
Everybody gets it.
You're in there, you get it. And so what Polk County Schools has done to make sure that the kids that are doing e-school are also able to get food, they've said, well, we're going to set up one pickup a week on Wednesdays from 9:30 to 10:30. And that's, you go to your school, you pick up these things. And so I went on there and I just asked, because they've also said that students should be at the computer from 8:30 to 3:30 to mimic the school day.
Right.
And so I just asked if there was going to be alternate options for parents who didn't have a way to go during that time, since that's during instructional time. And also, my school is a 25-minute drive from my house. So
can't just leave my kids at home.
I can't leave my kids at home, and I can't take them with me because they have to stay on the computer.
Yep.
And you've made this pickup time in the middle of instructional hours. And so there was a lot of parents that came back and said, oh, well, the teachers have been told they can't have the kids required to be on there during pickup times and all this nonsense. And this conversation started before I got their schedules. It turns out their schedules are dead on.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to be in front of the computer during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Their breaks, my fifth grader.
Say that again.
My fifth grader gets a recess and a lunch break back to back on Monday, but the rest of the week he does not have a recess break. He only has a 25-minute lunch break. So even if I could go and take him with me during his lunch break on Wednesday, by the way, because the double break day is Monday, I'd be able to get to the school, but I wouldn't get back in time for him to finish. And then that doesn't really leave much time for him to eat. So I don't know how they expect me to do that. Also, the two kids have different lunch times. So
Shh, listen.
she got hiccups.
She's dreaming.
Aww.
I don't know if you guys could hear that.
Oh,
but
that was the
it's
sweetest.
so cute.
So
Gizmo's dreaming.
So there was this back and forth conversation, like, okay, well, finally Polk Nutrition came in and said you can submit this email and ask for an alternate location, find a school that's closer to you, and we'll be able to accommodate it, basically is what they said. Fine, cool, all right, conversation over. This afternoon, some dumbass says, no, well, maybe you should just quit whining and let your neighbors watch your kids. I'm like, you don't even know me, first of all. Secondly,
you don't know my neighbors.
You don't know my neighbors. You don't know where I live. You don't know what the situation is there.
Yep.
How do you even know I have neighbors?
Oh, hold on. Can I make a guess as to the demographics of this person?
I'm sure he was related to the guy in the truck at Checkers.
Because here's the thing.
He was definitely.
Where I came from, where I grew up,
yeah,
you could have left me at the neighbors.
Well, yes.
Because we all, but
absolutely.
We all knew everyone. It was the small town, whatever. It was the times, and that's just not how it is now. But anyway.
So I just, instead of replying to him, I reported his account as a fake Facebook account.
You're such a bitch. You're such a bitch.
I don't care. I'm fucking over these people. I'm fucking over them. Don't fuck with me.
So how did we get here from Billy and Anita lost? Because that's where we started.
That's how we got here, because they lost and the whole world imploded. And all I want to do is fucking cry. That's it.
Yep.
And I swear to God, Billy Townsend, if you're listening, as soon as you're out of that chair, you fucking get to work and you find people and you tell them how to take over the other losers' seats on that board that are up in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll help you. I got nothing better to do. I mean, I got 2 kids I got to teach now because schools are going to burn down with COVID.
Yeah. Hey,
but
also, if you could swing by their school on Wednesday and pick up some lunch, that'd be great. Oh God.
It's just I just don't understand how asking a question in this world is whining and complaining. And I'm like, no, I'm just asking a question.
People are just assholes. And that's the other thing. All of our tensions are higher right now. And our fuses are shorter, and we're it's just all of us. And it's probably that guy too.
Yeah, but here's the difference. My fuses are short. But when I see somebody ask a question,
I get it.
I am not a smartass, and I don't try to tear them down. A nicer way to said that would have been, well, do you have neighbors that you could maybe ask for help?
I get it.
That's the difference.
No, absolutely.
And that's how you tell between who the assholes are and who the people are who actually care about whether or not but that's social media for you. You have two very different types of people that are on the internet, and it's toxic and it's gross. I mean,
speaking of toxic and gross, let's talk about some news stories.
Fuck.
Kimberly Daniels lost.
Oh, wait a minute.
In her primary race on Tuesday. Some good news.
Sweet baby Jesus. That could have been the best thing that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, the only other good news really that I really jumped up and down with was that Lori Edwards swept the floor with this Knaff and whatever, however you say her stupid last.
Yeah, we have a really good supervisor of elections.
Really good, and I'm really glad that she was able to pull that one out. I mean, she didn't even need to try. I don't think.
I would have been very concerned if she had lost. I would have been very concerned that the other person would have followed marching orders when it comes to you guys need to reduce the number of polling places and all of that, let's make voting harder for everyone stuff.
Oh, sure. Well,
but Lori won't stand for that shit.
She was backed by all of the same nonsense people that want to put all the conservatives into the school board, even though the school board is supposed to be nonpartisan.
Yeah, well. So this is fun. This story is out of FloridaPolitics.com.
Sorry, at least I pushed my button.
State Representative Kimberly Daniels took a loss in her primary Tuesday against challenger Angie Nixon, with the Jacksonville Democrat, said that's not the end of her political career. Quote, "I'm not finished in the political arena," the two-term lawmaker said on Facebook Tuesday night after her loss, but she's tired of struggling with Democrats. Daniels, who lost by roughly 20% in a closed Democratic primary, spoke to the difficulties she has had with people in her own party, especially in recent months when she took positions on parental consent for youth abortion and other issues that roiled liberal elements of the caucus. Quote, "I made the statement, and I told those in the Democratic Party who had such a problem with me standing for things of righteousness. They had problems with me saying marriage is between a man and a woman. They had problems with me standing for the sanctity of life,"
Oh, my God.
Daniels said. "I told my haters and my enemies in Tallahassee that if you don't like me, put someone in the race and let them take the position."
Yeah.
And that's what happened, she said.
Can I have her address? I'd really like to send her a sympathy card. No. I'm just curious. Does she understand? Does she think she's a Democrat, but she's really a Republican?
Yes.
Or is she an old Democrat?
She
Like when they switched?
she
Like does she just not know what party she's supposed to be affiliated with?
I think, I don't know.
Because I nothing she's ever said has lined up with party lines.
No.
Never.
No. She is a conservative Christian. The end.
Which, fine, but I mean, there's plenty of Democrats that are Christian that lean conservative in some arenas, but like the specific things that she tackles are very right-wing Republican issues. So I don't know. I've always felt like she was a plant, like she was just a fake Democrat.
However, there is life after a loss, Daniels said. "The last time I lost my race for the city council, I ended up in the House of Representatives. Where is God taking me now?"
Oh my
God. Some journalism award tonight for A.G. Gankarski, who wrote this article, who writes, "While God has yet to go on the record for this story, there is ample evidence that Republicans may be the ultimate vehicle for Daniels, a socially conservative pastor who has worked across party lines throughout her political career," which means she's been a Republican throughout her political career and wearing a blue shirt.
Such bullshit.
Yep.
I just thought of something. While we're replacing people, I think we need to. Billy Townsend needs to just, take over for Betsy DeVos, and Anita Carson should just take over. What's that? Ron Cochran guy, the stupid Florida Department of Education.
Yeah,
Cochran, whatever his name is. I need somebody with lots of money to fund those campaigns.
So the good news here is that the bill following that we do when session starts up again, we won't have all of that Bible class bill coming from her. Someone may bring it out
somewhere, yeah.
But it won't be her, and
that'll be
hallelujah.
That'll be better. It always it's yeah.
In other good news, Rashida Tlaib joins the Congressional Free Thought Caucus.
Okay. I don't know that I've heard that name before.
Rashida Tlaib? She's in the squad.
Squad?
Let me take a commercial break so we can. Oh my God! All right, well let me do the story first.
Wait, I'm so confused right now.
Okay, Representative Rashida Tlaib. This is from religionnews.com. One of the first Muslim women in Congress has joined the Congressional Free Thought Caucus. Launched in 2018, the caucus seeks to promote secular government, separation of church and state, freedom of conscience, and policy, quote, based on reason, science, and moral values, and to oppose discrimination against non-religious people or the so-called nuns. Members do not need to identify as non-religious. Tlaib is Muslim. Supporting religious freedom, church-state separation and evidence-based public policy aren't simply constitutional, said atheist advocate and author Hemant Mehta, who first reported the news at The Friendly Atheist and covers us when we get into shit. Thanks, Hemant.
We love you, Hemant. When we get into shit. When people drag us into shit.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Fair enough. Where was I? Those principles represent the best path forward for the country. Representative Tlaib also understands that those values are perfectly aligned with her faith. The Congressional Free Thought Caucus was organized by Representative Jared Huffman, who identifies as humanist, and is Congress's only open non-theistic member, along with Representatives Jamie Raskin, Jerry McNerney, and Dan Kildee. Now has 13 members, all Democrats. Shocker. Members include Representative Mark Pocan. I'm not going to read them all. Mehta said he hoped Tlaib's participation spurs other members of Congress to also join the caucus. As an atheist, I know it's not always easy for members of Congress to openly express support for non-religious people, Mehta said. I genuinely appreciate her support of secular Americans and secular values across the country. Hell yeah. And let's definitely do more of that. There is an organization that has formed recently that you all should look into. It is the Secular Democrats of America. Let me find their website for you. Secular Dems. Let me see. And so they just did a whole block of time during the convention, during the Democratic convention, and they had these. Jared Huffman was there. Raskin was there. Carlos Guillermo Smith, who's a Florida representative, but all there speaking.
Can I ask a question about that?
Okay.
I am really not interested in listening to the convention. Like, I wanted to hear Michelle Obama's speech, and that's about it. And probably mostly because while I will go on record right now and say that I will vote for Biden, I'm just not excited.
No, yes.
So
that's not a question.
Right. No, that's not. No, I'm
okay.
Prelude. So how did you like? I just because I'm not excited. I'm just not interested in listening to it. What would you say to someone like myself to encourage me to listen to it? Because I don't want to.
It's nothing to. It's little to do with Biden.
Because it sounded like it was a lot of Biden this, Biden that. Oh, vote for Biden. Like it from what I did hear.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 hours long.
It's like a big ad campaign for Biden.
No, this wasn't. The stuff that we watched the other night, the actual like primetime convention coverage where Michelle Obama spoke, that whole thing, that is a like 3 hours a night advertisement for Joe Biden.
Because I just don't want to watch that shit.
That's all it is.
Okay, so this is different.
This is more about grassroots activism, getting secular Democrats to work
it just
together.
Felt like it all run together, but maybe that's just because they're going on at the same time.
Maybe. I don't know.
I
don't think you listened to enough of what I'm talking about.
Probably not.
To really
I don't
get
know.
it.
I don't have the headspace to listen to stuff because the ADD is crazy right now. But maybe, I don't know.
But anyway, Sarah Levin, who was the director, something with the Secular Coalition for America, has moved on to this project now. And so she's organizing in several states to get secular Democratic caucuses. We have one now in Florida that's starting up. We just had voting on the officials. And so the idea is to just organize secular people together as a voting bloc to leverage that to get more people in who are going to vote against this garbage bullshit that Kim Daniels kept pushing. Right? That's really okay. It's really to say like to our legislators that we're out here and we vote and you've never paid attention to us before and it's time.
Right.
Okay. So that's what it is. And you getting involved in in it as an organization, allows you to have a voice and a connection to when we launch the so the caucus is one thing. There's also thought of the legislator caucus, and those are separate. I'm not going to get like down in the weeds on it, but what we're talking about here, the Congressional Free Thought Caucus, that is a group of legislators with like-minded views about religious liberty who meet and work together for these common goals, right? That's different from what secular Democrats of America is.
Okay.
Okay. That's a voter bloc.
Okay.
That's a voter organization, right?
Right.
Now, those will work together ultimately, right? But if we one day get, Carlos and Ana Escamani and whoever, like whatever the secular caucus of Florida looks like, then there's a bridge between those legislators and this organization that's building to get our view and our voice into government and to try to protect church-state separation.
Right.
So anyway, the thing during the convention was just, conversations and interviews and stuff about church-state separation and, what does that look like? What does that look like under a Biden administration? But also, like, what does that look like for you as a voter?
Right.
When you're considering all of these different races. One of the conversations that they had was like, how do we overturn the white supremacist Christian nationalism that is baked into this country? That's a deep conversation, but it was a good one to listen to. And so anyway, you can go look that up. It's on YouTube.
There was a couple of things that I did hear. The old lady that was talking this morning.
Oh, that was Carl Sagan's wife.
She was
on fire. She's so good.
If you listen to nothing else, go look it up because oh my god, she was fire.
The quote of Sagan's that I love so much for small creatures such as we, that she wrote that.
Well, that makes sense now.
Right.
She was just.
She was
I was
so
like,
good.
Damn, I didn't know who she was when she was talking, but she had my attention.
So look up Secular Democrats of America. The squad is AOC, Ilhan Omar.
God.
There's four of them, right?
I don't know. I didn't realize it was a squad.
Ayanna Pressley and Rashida Tlaib. Yeah. They go by the squad. Where have you been?
Listen.
This is old news.
This is not my thing though, and you know this.
You're right.
I like to give people food. I like to take care of my teachers.
So anyway, Rashida
Tlaib
is in the Congressional Free Thought Caucus now, and that's a great thing. One of the things that they talked about during the Secular Democrats piece in the convention was, in policy, what are some of the things that we should be doing as a country in promoting religious freedom and the values that we uphold. And one of them is like any country that we're doing any kind of business with as on a governmental level, any country we have a relationship with, it should be made clear that if you have a blasphemy law, that's a problem for us. That nobody should be put to death or locked up in jail because they said some words about your magic man. And yet, many countries that we deal with have blasphemy laws still on the books.
The only thing I would say about blasphemy, maybe not even blasphemy, can we make a law where if a mango holds up a Bible upside down in front of a church that he doesn't attend, he can go to jail? Because I would totally 100% support that. That is all.
Finally, the last story I have comes to us from LGBTQ Nation. This is a story of a baker who baked a cake.
Oh, I saw this. Oh, this is God, this guys. Oh,
a right-wing troll ordered a cake with an anti-LGBTQ message from a lesbian baker, apparently hoping that she'd refuse to make it so he could cry anti-Christian bigotry. She made it, though. He refused to pick it up for days. She eventually had to throw it away, and then the troll threatened to take her to court. April Anderson runs the Good Cakes and Bakes Bakery in Detroit with her wife, Michelle. For those of you in Detroit, stop by the Good Cakes and Bakes Bakery.
Get some cakes and bakes.
She has made a name for herself and has baked for Oprah Winfrey and appeared on the Today Show, but she's not a stranger to bias. Quote, "We are so used to being black lesbian women," Anderson told the Detroit Free Press. "You were used to people discriminating against you and saying mean things to you." On July 19th, Good Cakes and Bakes got an order for a red velvet cake. The customer had already paid for it online and requested a message for the cake. Quote, "Homosexual acts are gravely evil. Catholic Catechism 2357. I am ordering this cake to celebrate and have pride in true Christian marriage," the customer wrote in with the order. "Why would someone order this from us?" Anderson said. "They know our bakery. It's not like it's a secret. It says it on our About page and social media pages, and very clear that this bakery is owned by two lesbian women." Anderson and a friend did some digging and found out it was David Gordon, a white man whose Twitter bio says he's copy editor at Church Militant. Lawyer, theology, master in theology, author, sportsman, and family man. Church Militant is a far-right Christian website that opposes LGBTQ equality, of course. Gordon had already paid for the cake, so Anderson made it. She didn't write the message on top because, she said, the bakery's policy is that written messages cannot be submitted with online orders. Anyone who wants a written message has to call. Well, Gordon was scheduled to pick up the cake on July 25th. On the 24th, he called the bakery, and Anderson said the cake would be ready for the next day. She wrote a letter to go with it, just explaining what our bakery stands for, who we are. "We don't stand for hate. We're all about peace and justice and inclusion." The next day, Gordon didn't even pick up the cake. "I think he was trolling us, and he wanted me not to make the cake so that he would have an argument about us being discriminatory against him for not making a cake. I think it shocked him when he called Friday and we said, 'Oh yeah, we're making the cake.'" Loved him. She kept the cake around a few more days, but ended up throwing it out. On July 30th, 5 days after he was supposed to pick up the cake, Gordon called again, asking about it. She told him he could order another, but if he wants a written message, he has to call instead of using the website. That was it until Pride Source published the story about the incident on August 6th, including the part where she didn't write the message on the cake, which apparently made him want the cake again. On August 7th, he tweeted, "Good Cakes and Bakes is discriminating against me for requesting a cake virtually, quoting the Catechism of the Catholic Church. No more anti-Catholic discrimination. See you in court. I was denied the services I requested at a place of public accommodation on the basis of the content of my beliefs," he later told the Detroit Free Press in an August 13th article. Imagine the umbrage if a homosexual couple arrived at their wedding reception to find a Christian baker had made them a straight cake. He did not explain what a straight cake is. For years, some anti-LGBTQ bakers have refused to bake or even sell cakes to same-sex couples, especially if they're going to be used as wedding cakes. These bakers have been fighting anti-discrimination laws, saying that they have a First Amendment right to refuse to sell cakes to same-sex couples. The best-known case involved Jack Phillips' Masterpiece Cake Shop, who refused to even discuss what kind of cake Charlie Craig and David Mullins wanted for their wedding in 2012, saying that his Christianity prevented him from selling the cake that would be used at a same-sex wedding. Colorado Civil Rights Commission found that he discriminated against the couple, in part because they didn't even discuss any details of the design of the cake. Phillips' free speech right, the commission reasoned, only came into play if he had an objection to the product being ordered, not just the people who were buying the product. This was different from another Colorado man in 2014 who tried to get a bakery to make him a cake with a message, quote, "Homosexuality is detestable." He complained he was facing anti-Christian discrimination, but both the commission and Colorado courts agreed that a written message is different from just selling a product. Conservatives have been using cases like this one to push for religious exemptions arguing that selling a product to LGBTQ people can be seen as an endorsement of homosexuality and therefore a form of speech. While Michigan's civil rights legislation includes protections based on religion, ACLU of Michigan LGBT project staff attorney Jay Kaplan said that the written message might make Gordon's request different. An argument can be made that the message they wanted on the cake might have gone into the realm of compelled speech, Kaplan said. Anderson said the incident isn't going to keep her from taking pride in her work. We're not going to change who we are, Anderson said. We made it very clear when we opened. Some people are like, oh, we're just not going to tell people. We want to keep stuff separate. You can't compartmentalize your life. We're very, very proud. Open. I want to go to Detroit.
I was just about to say, so our next vacation has to be
cake.
Going through Detroit somehow to get some cake. Detroit's in Michigan. Guess what else they have in Michigan? Weed.
Oh, you sold me. I mean, they have weed here too, but it's
but no.
I understand the difference. So there you go. And when it comes to like these Christian bakeries, like being bigots and stuff, again, this is why elections are important. Even the local one that you didn't vote in on Tuesday, because
burn my ass.
Because cities also have
ordinances.
Yeah.
And
so we tried in Davenport, they tried to pass an update to the human rights ordinances that would include sexual orientation and gender identity. And the Bible thumpers came out and, did what they do best. And that didn't pass. So elect people who get it, ask questions about church-state separation. Now we're going into the general election, right?
Yeah.
We're starting now. And so if you interact with candidates, ask those questions. How do you feel about church-state separation? What does that mean to you? What would you do with these bills that are, being filed? Give some examples. Get them on the record.
Yeah.
Because we need some advocates in all offices of all levels to protect us from the Christian bigotry.
Mm-hmm. No kidding.
And that's all I got. You want to get out of here?
Take me to bed.
Let's go to bed. That's not what you think she means.
But literally, I want you to take me to bed and just do this
go to sleep
until I fall asleep.
Yeah. Before I hit go here, I do want to also mention just an update maybe on the show and kind of where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
So I've once again debated about like, oh, do we keep doing this thing? Is it worth my time? Am I getting what I want out of it? Are you getting anything out of it? That sort of thing. Looking at the numbers, like all 12 of you come back every episode, so that's super awesome. Really appreciate you. But we're not in a place where we're doing a weekly thing now. There's just too much life happening, and but we're not going anywhere. We'll keep the show live. I definitely want to get through to the election at the very least.
Yeah.
But I want to do some more episodes with candidates that are running in our area, like we did with Jared.
I think we definitely should do an election show.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we'll do an election special.
Yeah.
I requested that off work. Gonna need it.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't need it as badly as you think you're gonna.
Oh God, don't even. I swear to God, if you people elect that fucking mango again.
Move to fucking Canada.
And so I will also say a thank you again, as always, though, to our patrons. When we set up Patreon, there was two options that you could do, and I don't know that you can still do these two options, but the options were you can charge people a set amount of money every month, whether you produce any content or not, or you can set it up so they can pledge per creation. And so we did that because I knew there was going to be a time that we were just not going to be able to do a show 1 week or 2 weeks or a month even. And I didn't want you guys to have to pay that month for nothing.
Right.
So I'm glad that we went that route. And I think that makes, it better for everybody.
Sure.
I do want to thank our top patrons. I tried to think of something clever and funny, but couldn't think of shit. At least I finally changed it, right? And Sarah bullied me into changing my name.
Okay. Keith, you can do better than that. John, you're the best. Well, Keith, you're the best too, but
we love
John,
y'all.
that was really clever.
Yeah.
Keith, you got to try harder.
So thanks for, staying on this ride with us. And I hope that you enjoy, what we do and the conversations that we're having. And if you don't, let us know.
If you don't, just tell us and you can call in. You can have a conversation.
Right.
Maybe if we decide to do a show that week.
And on that note, let's get out of here and go to bed. Vote, fuckers, vote.
Vote, fuckers, vote.
And if you don't, well, fuck. All right, we'll see you next time. Love y'all. Have a good night.
Good
You've
night.
been listening to SarahTalk.
SarahTalk is made possible by listener support. Visit patreon.com/SarahTalk to become a patron and help keep this program going. Contact Sarah and Company by email at producer@sarahtalk.com or call 224-40-SARAH. That's 224-407-2724. And follow us on social media, facebook.com/SarahTalkRadio and on Twitter @SarahTalkRadio. The opinions and information provided on this show are intended for entertainment purposes only. All opinions are solely that of the hosts and their guests. We make no representations as to accuracy, completeness, timeliness, or validity of any information and will not be liable for any errors or damages. SarahTalk is a production of Sarah Austin Media.